Welcome back to World Drum Club, everyone. I'm Kalani, your host and teacher, and this is a new thing for me. I'm reviewing and checking out this electronic drum set. I've never had an electronic drum set before, but I've kind of always wanted one just for practicing and also maybe for recording into the computer. So right now I've got a Donner DED-200 drum set, and this was sent to me by Donner. I'm not getting paid for this review, but I want to just be clear that they did donate one. Thank you. To the channel, World Drum Club. Welcome. If you're interested or curious about electronic drum sets, I'm going to be covering some of the basics, and you'll be able to hear it like you just did and talk about it a little bit. So first I want to take you through the setup, unboxing, how I got to this point, and then we're going to come back and check out some of the sounds and get into more of the playability and how the drum set is performing. So here's what happened right from out of the box in setting it up. All right, people, I just got the Donner DED-200 digital drum set delivered, and here's what you get in the giant box, including a giant box. So that, I believe, is the stand. All the components are here: snare, kick pedal, cymbal mount, crash cymbal, ride cymbal, hi-hat with a hi-hat control, tom-tom, 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 or as we like to call them, tom-tom, tom, headset, sound module, and accessories, because who doesn't like accessorizing? All right, this is what you get in the box, plus that. In the big box, you get the stand, manual, drumsticks, and a drum throne. Here's the top, here's the bottom. And it looks, it looks okay. I mean, it's definitely basic, but it's, we'll see how it performs, but it looks okay. So far, so good. I'm gonna open up the accessories because on page 3 or 5, or page 3, I have to make sure I have all these things, because it says check the attached items, meaning check the items that come in the boxes. So I'm going to do that right now. All right, so here's some of the accessories. Here's your, I don't know what you call this. I call it a snake, I guess. Hook it up to the sound module, and then you've got all your color-coded wires. That's kind of nice. Mounting brackets. This is for the sound source, power supply, different wrenches. Look at these guys. Those are some small screws. You gotta be careful you don't lose those before you get it all together. Extra 1/4-inch stereo cord, and here's some Velcro ties. So that's what's in the accessories box. So it gives you a table of contents, and the list of included items, how to hook up the kick drum and the pedal, and then you've got the sound module bracket. So there's some little basic screwdrivery stuff you need to do. It shows you how to connect the stand, where all the drums go and the cymbals, typically how to hook up the drum module, where to hook up, and then gives you a wiring diagram if you want to, hook up other things. And then one thing I like is it actually gives you pretty complete instructions on getting started with the device, with the head, the sound module. And yeah, operation guide has a metronome, demonstration music, sensitivity adjustment, reverb. Let's see how that is. We're going to hear this in a little bit. It gives you a whole list of the timbres, the sounds, combinations, things to avoid, safety precautions, instructions. And one thing that I actually like about this, no offense to any other languages, but it doesn't give you a gigantic manual that's in 12 different languages. This is the English version, and it's just English. So I kind of like that because it saves paper. I don't have to worry about finding the right part of the catalog for me, because the whole thing is in English, and I'm an English reader and speaker. So there you go. All right, here's the sound module. It's compact, you know. There's where you plug in your stuff. Here's where this goes. Unscrew these and then screw that on. It's got some different plugs on the bottom. I like that it has USB, so we'll see what we can do with that. I'm assuming you can go direct to computer. And then you've got audio in for adding sound if you want to play from your device, your phone or some other device. You've got audio out, phones out. Yeah, so that's nice. A few different things. We'll get this fired up as soon as we get the set up. These are the headphones you get with the drum set. It's like a new pair of headphones. Extra bass. So I think that's pretty cool. I mean, they're actually sending you a brand new pair of headphones. I don't know how good they are, but hey, it's a pair of headphones. I don't know if all electronic drum sets do that, but that's what you get with this one. Here's the bass pedal that you get, and I gotta say, it's not bad. I've seen a lot of pretty cheesy bass drum pedals, you know, in inexpensive products, and you know, it's basically like your old DW design. This is pretty much like my first bass pedal, but it's got a chain drive. It's got two bolts for the beater, dual-sided felt beater, pretty good plate. You know, I mean, it actually has some weight to it. And then, of course, you can adjust everything as you move around. You can adjust all these things. But yeah, I'm kind of impressed. I mean, it's got a lot of features that you see on pro pedals, and that's not even the main thing that you're buying when you buy this electronic drum set. So that's kind of nice. These are the components you get with the kick drum, which I'll talk about in a second. But look at this. They actually give you a little screwdriver. I mean, who does that? So I'm going to use this. I have another use for this. I'll use this for something else later. But look at that little cute little screwdriver. Some of the components, you know, got to be careful. You don't misplace those. The kick drum, and this is the first time I've felt any of the actual drums, but you know, this is mesh. This is not just rubber or plastic. It's like a hollow kind of see-through. I don't know how well you guys can see in there, but it's semi, okay, so you see these holes on the back? So you can see those? So it's like a transparent, breathable, in other words, this is gonna have probably a pretty decent feel, I imagine. And it's got like a nice chrome rim. So, you know, so far so good. I mean, at the price point of this drum set, I'm impressed that they have this type of technology. Okay, here's the completed bass drum pedal and kick assembly. It's got some nice sharp stoppers. I don't know what you call those, but those are in case you have a carpet or rubber mat. I put this together and I did not pinch myself because I read the instructions, and after reading that I put it together and I did not pinch my finger because I was careful. So there you go, pedal and kick. All right, let's move on. Okay, this is the frame, the rack that you get. And again, I am pretty pleasantly surprised with the quality. You know, I mean, for the price point, I don't know how these guys are doing this. Pretty good connectors. I mean, it's plastic, you know, of course, but it's comfortable. Everything works. The tom mounts look like this, and this just goes in this hole here. It seems to be, you know, fairly sturdy. Here's a look from the bottom. You can adjust them, you know, however you need to. And yeah, so far so good. So I'm gonna get the rest of the drums and the mounts hooked up. I've got cymbal stands over here, and then we've got the hi-hat controller and the hi-hat. Also, the two cymbals. And I know these look strangely similar. In fact, they look identical, but they're not. And the reason you know they're not is because the boxes, one says crash and one says ride. Now, I know you're probably thinking, yeah, Kalani, but they're still the same thing. I mean, they look exactly the same. Same size, same features. But if you think these are the same, you'll be wrong, because on the back, one says ride and one says crash. So there. Now you know they're different, even though they're exactly the same. I went to unwrap the top of the drum seat, you know, the drum throne, and so yeah, here's the snare, and it's essentially the same drum as the kick. However, on the snare you have this rim, this black plastic or rubber, yeah, rubbery rim. So I guess that's going to come into play. Haha. It's coming along. All right, so I've got the drums, the pedals, and the cymbals set up. I wanted to show you how the cymbals are attached. So under here, there's a pivot area, and then you just attach it, but it stays oriented towards the drummer. So this is really the playable surface, and then this will always stay oriented towards the drummer for the crash and the ride. Hi-hat is down here, and I mounted it like this, and then the brain is there. Snare is mounted like that. When you mount these drums, you know, you want to make sure that you keep them, I think, as far down on this post as possible, because the farther up it is on the post, the more torque there's going to be on the hardware down here on the clamps. So if you keep everything kind of low in terms of where it is on the post, I think you'll have a better result. The rack is okay. You know, it's not, you know, this is not a $2,000 piece of gear. For the price, it's crazy how good quality this is, though. I do want to point out, yeah, all the pads are the same size basically. So when you look at it here, you know, that's the only thing it looks a little different than a regular drum set. But yeah, everything seems good so far. I'm about to hook everything up. Here's the throne. It's basic, you know, but it's got this, which is nice because it's not going to slip. So once you get it adjusted to your height, you should be good. It's, you know, it's lightweight. It's not like the Rock and Sock with the Gibraltar bass over there that I usually use, but it's fine. You know, I love the fact that these guys actually provide everything you need, including the headphones and a screwdriver. Where's my screwdriver? Yeah, this is my new favorite screwdriver. It's awesome. So I'm going to get this hooked up, plugged in, and probably moved so it's not in the middle of my floor, and then we'll check out the sound. Okay, so it took me about an hour to set up. You could do it in 45 minutes if you're really rushed, but if you're just setting things up at a leisurely pace and, you know, taking time to get everything adjusted the way you need it for yourself, I would expect to take about an hour to set the whole thing up, which is not bad considering you're putting together, you know, all of these components. All you need is a screwdriver, and you can hand tighten down everything else, so that's kind of nice. All right, now I am recording the audio directly out of the unit into my Zoom H5 recorder, and I'm monitoring that through the headphones. But you could plug that into a speaker if you wanted to hear it more acoustically and you're not a fan of wearing the headphones. But this is direct out of the unit. This is just factory setting, right out of the box, just turned it on. It's on kit number 1, and here's what it sounds like. Each pad here, you have 2 zones. So you have the main playing surface, the head, and then the rim, which you don't even have to do a cross stick. You can just hit the rim like this. So you get the cross stick sound there. And let's check out the toms. So not as much of a difference in the sound there. Here's the crash cymbal and the edge. So the cymbals are dual zone, plus they have a choke feature. So you just grab the edge and it
mutes the sound, which is nice. Here's the ride. So you're actually getting another crash cymbal over here if you hit the ride on the edge, which is kind of nice. Sometimes you don't want to have to cross over. Here's the kick. Okay, so dusting off my drum set chops over here. All right, let's hear another set. There's about 16, I think there's 16, yeah, 15 user or factory drum sets set up in here. And you can edit all of those and save them if you want to create your own. And you can change all the levels. I'm not going to get into everything you can do with this thing. Here's drum kit number, let's go to 3. Little bit different sound, a little brighter, poppier. Here's number 4. All right, so, you know, this is an entry-level electronic drum set, I would say, for the price point. It's pretty amazing. I like that it has mesh heads, and you can hear that it's got quite a response range. What it doesn't have, I'll talk about that in a second. What it doesn't have is multi-sampling, which would have been nice in the unit. You can use a different sound module or even your computer, and I was triggering sounds in Logic Pro. You can trigger sounds in GarageBand by hooking the USB out up, so you just hook it up to another sound source, and then you can have access to that. So it will send the sound, you know, the MIDI information, and then if whatever sound source you're using has layered samples that change in timbre a little bit, you can have that feature. This sound unit does not have that, so you've got the same, basically you got one sound per, you know, drum set on each instrument, and then it just makes it louder or softer. So you can power up the unit, and it comes up on the voice. Kit number, you can scroll through different drum sets, and then you can also go to drum kit and edit the individual voices. Go through the whole drum set, and you can select the voice over here. So if you want a different sound, you can do that. Here's the crash. Just as an example. So you have songs that you can play too. You've got a metronome. And you can change the volume, number of beats, all that stuff. You can go to the drum set and go through different settings, pad sensitivity, reverb type. There's different types of reverb, and then also somewhere in here is the reverb volume. I think if we go up here, yeah, EQ, reverb level, reverb type. So you have control over lots of different features there in the unit, and then of course you have volume up and down, overall volume. and different menu settings, and then of course power on and off. I don't know, a couple things that you might want to know about on this particular set. I think the kick could use a little more stability. So if, you know, I want to use this thing for practice and yeah, and maybe some MIDI recording, I would probably work on that kick stand a little bit and maybe stabilize it. It moves around a little bit, but it's not too bad. All the other drums feel great. The cymbals are, you know, they're rubber cymbals, but they feel fine. Maybe the only other thing is the hi-hat pedal. I noticed that mine, and I don't know if this is typical, but mine releases a little bit late. So when I'm playing the closed sound, it takes like a second for it to release and go to the open sound. So I'm not really sure why that is, but I just wanted to be, you know, objective here and give you all the info. The sound module is good. It's okay. It's not the best. You could certainly pay a lot more money and get, you know, a much more natural, organic sounding drum set sound. But again, at the price that this thing is at, I think it's a great value. You know, it depends on what your goals are. If you want an entry-level practice setup that feels pretty good, pretty natural, certainly way better than just, you know, a practice pad drum set, which is what I first started on. I think it's great. Like I said, you can trigger the computer sounds. You can trigger any sounds you want. You can change all this stuff to some, you know, pretty crazy and wild. And some of the electronic drum sets out there have other stuff like samples, you know, bass guitars and synthesizers and Latin percussion, other sounds. This one is pretty much just drum set sounds in different styles. Here's like number 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, that wraps up this video. Thanks for stopping by World Drum Club. I hope this has been helpful. Our mission is to help all of you enjoy the world of drums and percussion, find out about new instruments, play new rhythms, and play music with people that you care about. I'm Kalani, your host and teacher. You can find out more at patreon.com/Kalani, where our supporters get a little bit more than here on YouTube for free, but I do appreciate you stopping by. If you like this, like it, subscribe so you don't miss anything in the future, hit the bell to get notifications, and go out and make some great music. Thanks for watching.